to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I wake again.
Welcome to Wellness Tuesdays here in the Wisdom Clinic. I am Nadira Lewis, and I have with me, I'm back again, Sharmane, our Herbal Naturopath, Sharmane Q. Harrison. Welcome back, Sharmane.
Thank you.
I am excited because we have an amazing topic today that is going to be awesome because a lot of us deal with it. We don't know what to do with it. Sometimes those fat cells in our body has eternal life and we just can't get rid of them. But today, Sharmane is going to help us understand how to lose the waste so that we can deal with the weight problem. So Sharmane?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again for having me today. I'm excited to be here. You did awesome last week. I was tuning in like, yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you guys, if you're here today, it's because you're supposed to be here. I love for you to take out your pen and paper, get something to write on and write with, because the notes are going to be absolutely phenomenal today. Okay. So today I kind of just want to speak to you all about why it is that you're probably not losing the weight that you desire when you've been trying. I have a lot of people, I see a lot of comments on social media where people are just like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to lose weight, or they're comparing themselves to other people. Like, well, what'd you do? Well, what'd you do? And they're just kind of trying to figure it out. But for those of you, I'm gonna break that down for you today. But for those of you tuning in for the first time, I'm Sharmane. I'm an herbal naturopath, and what I do is I help release individuals from the hostage of illness so that they can go from dealing to healing. And what that looks like is basically if you're dealing with like constantly being ill and dealing with medications, consuming medications that don't really do anything but give you horrible side effects. If you're dealing with trying to lose weight in your body, but you find yourself kind of like on this continuous hamster wheel, it's like, man, I'm trying everything I can, and I don't know, this weight is not going off, coming off. But if you're dealing with medical conditions that do affect your physical being, and it's kind of just bringing you like low self-esteem, that's something else I also specialize in. So, but I'm able to help you to release yourself from those things and utilizing natural methods. That's what I do through things such as basically herbal medicine. Okay. And I myself have struggled with being diagnosed with so many chronic illnesses while serving in the military that it felt like, it kind of held me hostage, from enjoying my life. I felt like me being sick all the time. I was sick 8 months out of the year, like every year for like a long time. And it held me hostage from enjoying my life. It held me hostage from spending time with my family, from being able to consume the things that, I want to consume, and kind of just looking in the mirror. And it left me like my self-confidence just really low with what I saw in the mirror. I looked in the mirror and I'm just like, man, I'm not really happy with what I see, and it also held me hostage from actually having a healthy relationship with others, believe it or not. And, I've experienced physical deformities that left my skin 90% pigmented, physical body pain, including arthritis, extreme hair loss, burning, bleeding, itchy skin from illnesses that just that's considered autoimmune conditions. And I've experienced relying heavily on medications just to get me through my everyday life. So that's a little background of if you're tuning in for the first time. But I found that that's no way to live. That's no way to live. So how many of you viewing this right now can relate to seeing like a family member suffer from an illness and slowly, their health declining over the years, day by day? And we simply believe that, oh, we can't do anything about it. That's just the way it is, but that's not true. How many of you can relate to actually seeing like, yourself? It doesn't have to be a loved one. It could be yourself looking in the mirror every day and you're suffering from symptoms and things that we feel are normal, even minor things. It doesn't have to be a chronic condition. It can be stuff such as like heartburn, acne, stomach issues, things like that, that we today as people just like, oh, that's normal. That's just what it is. That's how it is. But it's not. How many of you are tired of looking in the mirror and you're convincing yourself, oh, I look good, instead of actually feeling good internally. So your body can truly reflect that you feel good. But I understand these things because I've did that before. I've been there before. My last 2 years of being active duty in the military, I gained 30 pounds. 30 pounds of stress, 30 pounds of waste, that's 15 pounds a year. 30 pounds of trauma, 30 pounds of low self-esteem, 30 pounds of ignorance, and 30 pounds of bad habits. Because that's tied all up in a nutshell. That's exactly what it was. And while going through those moments, I did things such as I was waist training. I was like, oh, well, let me just throw on this waist trainer. I did, they had like these skinny detox teas that they were selling at the store. I'm like, oh, let me get that. At times I was like, oh, let me drink lemon water, cucumber lemon water. I'm gonna do that. And I was just trying all sorts of just diets that I saw or that I heard someone else did. Oh, try this because so and so did that and it worked for them. And what ended up happening to me basically was, even through like attempting to take control of my health situation, my body weight just constantly like fluctuated. So it did this thing where it was 5 pounds up, 5 pounds down, a few pounds up, a few pounds down. So that left me, I became obsessed with looking at the scale, which contributed to stress. And stress, again, that contributes to more illness in the body, which I say that all the time. Stress can kill. If I gained 1 pound from the morning to the afternoon, that would determine what I would eat for dinner. If I lost 1 pound from the afternoon to the morning, that would determine what I had for breakfast. And I had moments where I just didn't even care at all about anything. I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. And that would determine what I ate for the whole week. So with that being said, how many of you can relate to what I'm saying? Because I know I've done it. How about you, Nadira? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what I was doing was I was being obsessive. I was obsessively emotionally eating overall. That's what that was, which was my way of basically just justifying why I wasn't open to learning a different way of living. Because what I was doing, that wasn't living, that was surviving. That was me in a constant state of emotional trauma. Like, oh my gosh, being obsessed. But I share that story because that's what most of us are doing today. That's being on this journey. You're on a diet journey. You're not on a health journey. You're not on a wellness journey, because activities like that, that's not wellness, that's a diet. And one thing that I don't do, I don't teach diets. I don't teach that. I teach wellness. I teach something that's going to transform your life. One that will not take you in circles, because that's what a diet mindset does. It takes you in circles instead of actually incorporating the healing that needs to be done. So we know overall how to properly take care of our bodies most of the time, but we make the decision not to, because it's easier to make excuses about why we're not where we want to be, or why we're not trying to move forward to where we need to be. We make excuses because it's easier to just kind of convince ourselves that our current habits, that's going to keep us stuck. Those things is going to keep us stuck. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Can you relate to what I'm saying, dear?
Oh gosh, so much so. As you were talking, I'm like, yep, that was me. Yep, that was me. Yep, because diet, like we said, diet is something that's the word that's been thrown around, because that's the only known word that's attached to weight loss that you think of, that, okay, I need to diet to make the change. We don't think lifestyle. We don't think waste, getting rid of or eliminating waste. We think diet. So I think it's important that you're helping us understand the importance of understanding how to reconnect certain words to certain mindsets, so that you can look at weight loss not just as from a diet aspect. It'll be more so from a lifestyle change, and you're going to show us how to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, as far as the diet, it was bad, you guys, because nobody wants to diet. You know, if you tell somebody hey, let's do this diet, people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's a negative connotation attached to it. So you already don't want to do it when the word is put out there. So it's absolutely a reprogramming of the mind so that because diets are temporary. You say a diet, well, what do I need to eat right now so that I don't have to eat it later so I can eat what I want later? And it
You
doesn't make
automatically
sense.
think restrict. When you hear diet, you automatically think what I can't have. What I
Mm-hmm.
can't have. It's like restrict. It doesn't make you think for most people. Um, it doesn't give you the same mindset. It really doesn't.
Right, like what I
Like,
can't. Nobody's focusing on what they can have. They're just so focused on what they can have, and it automatically, when you begin, that's why people quit. That's why they stop. That's why they don't stay on it.
mhm.
Because they're looking at it as a diet. And a lot of times when you see these before and after pictures of people online that they lost weight and they look amazing and all that stuff, it's not because they did a diet real quick and they're good to go. That's because they're to the point where they actually made things a lifestyle change. But I know for me it was really bad. I remember literally when I was gaining weight, I was asking my close friend, I was like, girl, do I look like I'm gaining weight? I already know the answer to it, right? Can't fit my clothes, the uniform getting tight. I already know the answer, but I'm like, girl, am I gaining weight? And now we tend to ask those individuals that we know are gonna be like, no, girl, you're fine. We don't, we tend to ask those individuals.
They're
Now
not
this
answering
is
the question. They're answering.
right.
They're more so just like, okay, let me just. They already perceive, oh, this is what she wants to hear. They're not really technically answering the question.
Hmm. Right. Now, this is where holistically your social environment plays a huge role because but especially if you and that person are under the same situation. So if I weigh, X amount of pounds and this other person weighs X amount of pounds, of course we're not gonna, that person not gonna be like, oh no, you don't look like you're getting big with the same, weight. So we're kind of that toxic relationship. So if you're doing the same thing, it's going to be kind of be hard to actually excel at your goals if you're confining in someone that's not on that same, path that you're trying to go on. So it's kind of like if two people are alcoholics and one is trying not to drink, but you go, you go to the alcoholic friend and you say, girl, I think this alcohol is making me gain weight. Naturally, because y'all do have a toxic relationship with it, toxic doesn't have to necessarily mean fighting or anything. Toxic, y'all have a toxic relationship where you're balancing your emotions off of one another. With one another, your friend is naturally going to respond with some type of excuse because they want you to drink with them.
They
So
become
they're
your enabler. Yes.
right. So your friend might say, no, girl, it's COVID, child. Everybody gained a little bit of weight. You good. Girl, you look fine to me. I mean, it's nothing wrong with having a little something every now and again. Knowing y'all drinking every day, but every now and again. That's the word that's the excuse we're going to put into there. But you see what I'm saying? So, instead of taking accountability because you know what's going on, you know what you need to do. Originally, you know what you need to do, but it just makes you feel good to have someone else justify your behavior. So as you said, the enabler, you have your friends as that enabler, and we don't want to see outside that because as long as they say, okay, you good, then you must be good, even though in all reality, you're not good. Right. So that's
Kind of makes me think about that show, My 600-Pound Loser. And I love the doctor, I forgot what his name, he has a really long name, but I love the way he deals with the mental aspect of it when he's talking to the family members. And he's always saying, who's living with you? Who's enabling you? And he attacks it right on, and he says, this is why you can't lose weight, and no, you can't be their support system because you're going to cause them. And I'm like, wow. So that adds so much value to what you say, that you have to have people around you that are not enablers. If they know you've been struggling with it and they haven't said anything about it to you, and you're still, you need to have people around you that's going to make you accountable, that's going to hold you accountable and say, yeah, you shouldn't have ate those 5 slices of pizza. No, you shouldn't have ate, those 10 pieces of chicken. You shouldn't have ate that candy, knowing that you have this issue. So yes, accountability is vital.
exactly, absolutely. And like you said, having those people around you, not just them telling you, but them being the example. So you want to kind of, be around, because if you have, four other people around you eating, a certain way, eating really healthy, and you're the only one, and y'all are constantly around each other, you're going to feel some type of way. You're not going to be like, you're going to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel uncomfortable, then you should, if those are your close friends. So, I mean, hey, but that's the number one reason that you may not be losing weight, because of your relationship with yourself. It's not just other people, because you have to have some form of self-discipline.
Right.
So it's not so much other people, it's that relationship with other people and yourself. So that's the number one reason. And then, so for me, that was my first indication of me not losing weight. And not saying, again, it was the other person's fault at all, but it was a lack of self-discipline. So let's be honest, when you first begin something, especially things like weight loss, you lack self-discipline. That's just what it is, because it's something new. Growth is, it's something new. It's uncomfortable because you haven't yet made that decision in your mind if you're going to stick with it 9 times out of 10. But if you made a decision in your mind, temptation wouldn't be so tough. Have you ever seen those people that they can stop something cold turkey? Like you have people that smoke for like 10 years, right? Or drink for 10 years. And then they just stop cold turkey. Yes, they are able to do that, because it's not impossible. It's not impossible at all. They just had a defining moment in their lives where they made a decision that enough was enough. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just like when people stop eating meat. It's not impossible. You just have to make a choice and a decision. And that choice requires self-discipline, which requires a change in habit. So that's definitely, something for you guys viewing out there to think about, which brings me to my next reason. Reason number 2 that you may not be losing weight is because you might have a lot of waste backed up in your colon too. I know while I was serving, I can honestly look back now and admit that my diet was absolutely terrible. It was very terrible. On top of me taking endless medications and drinking alcohol and smoking, none of those things served me. And I know that for a lot of individuals that you pick up habits after a while. So when you're a child, some people are, oh, I've been vegan my whole life, or I've been doing this my whole life, and I still have these problems. But you kind of have to think, you pick up certain habits when you become older. That's not the best for your health. So it doesn't necessarily have to be smoking and drinking. I use that example a lot because a lot of people do that in the world. They smoke cigarettes and such, and they drink alcohol. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. While you're suffering with illness, you could be one of those people that develop like a sugar addiction. You have that sweet tooth, that really bad sweet tooth, that you're constantly like, you got to have something sweet. So yeah, you might be eating what you consider healthy, but if you're a snacker, that's something that's going to be kind of like, oh man, you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, most people may believe that, it's okay, oh, it's okay because a lot of physical activity that you do, will keep me in shape. Like when I was in the military, people were like, oh man, you work out a lot, so you're good, you're in shape. But I'm here to tell you that doesn't matter. That simply doesn't matter, because internally, my organs were screaming for help.
Wow.
You should never look at somebody and look at, oh, they look good on the outside, so they're good to go, because internally you don't know what they have going on. Even bodybuilders and the social media models and stuff, like, we glamorize people, and it's just like they may have hormone imbalances, they may all types of stuff going on, especially when they're constantly consuming protein powders and all these other things. Like, you never want to do that. You want to make sure that you're listening to your body, make sure that you're going down the path that you need to go to get better, because it's not about how somebody looks externally if they're suffering from all these symptoms of an illness. Because sometimes we suffer with symptoms that we believe are normal, but slowly our body is actually starting to develop an illness that will come out over time.
I like what you said a couple of weeks ago, the last time, the week before last, and you said symptoms. You were breaking down what symptoms were, and you said illness starts in the body before the symptoms actually come, and by the time the symptoms come, that it's your way of your body's way of letting you know that it's already there, or something to that extreme, and not something to that description. But when you said that, I thought about that, and I thought, wow, you can be walking. That's why you have people who walk around here with cancer, and it could be months to years, and then all of a sudden, I think about specifically the news anchor in Atlanta that passed away. From what I understood, they said that she was, having these headaches. And, most people, when you have certain symptoms in your body, you think, oh, it's just probably nothing. It's just probably this, it's probably that. But from my understanding, she was walking around, she was having headaches, and didn't realize that she just probably thought like everybody else, it was just a headache, but she was having these headaches. And by the time I guess she went to go see about it, they found out she had cancer, and I think it was brain cancer, and she died within like months. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, like, wow, like when we have things that go on with our body, we just, you don't want to be fearful, but you do want to at least be able to explore. But that's what happens when we're constantly consuming and doing different things. We're not taking note of the things we can't really tell what's affecting our body because we're doing so much. We're not taking inventory. We're eating all kinds of things. And I'm not saying that was the case with her, but it just made me realize why it's important for us to pay attention to things like symptoms. Why it's important to pay attention to what we consume. Why it's important to pay attention when we have certain body aches in certain areas of our body. Our body is trying to tell us something, and if we don't pay attention and take heed to those symptoms or the things that are bothering us before they even become systematic, because you might have something once or twice, and then over time you might get consistent symptoms. We shouldn't wait till it's that long. I mean, we should just be able to start taking inventory and saying, okay, you know what? This isn't normal for me to have this. Let me see what have I done in the past day, month, week, or whatever that may have changed or shifted my body to react the way it is. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I definitely would agree because, like I said, inside the body, your body's already suffering before you even actually get the physical symptoms. Your body's actually already suffering. That's why I stress the importance of detoxing and knowing how to properly detox so those illnesses don't come back. A lot of the times, the illnesses that we suffer from as people, that's something we can prevent with preventive maintenance. The stuff that we can prevent once you're diagnosed is stuff that you could actually reverse. The symptoms that can go away. Symptoms, you can get rid of a lot of symptoms just off of basic knowledge and basic information, but a lot of people don't. They choose to suffer because a lot of it has to do with self-discipline. A lot of it has to do with the mindset. A lot of it has to do with their relationship with food. They feel like, oh, I have this sugar addiction. A lot of times you just have parasites in the body. A lot of it has to do with the hormone imbalance. A lot of people, I spoke about that earlier this week, like the gut and the brain has a direct correlation with one another. They feed off of one another. A lot of people that deal with anxiety and depression think that's the brain thing. Yes, the brain is affected, but that's a gut issue because hormones are made. Not every hormone, but a lot of your hormones are made in the gut. That's your stomach issue. A lot of people don't think about that. That's a stomach issue. That's not necessarily your brain. They do balance off of one another, but the hormone that's supposed to help, give you, help relax you, or serotonin, that's made in the gut. That's not made, in the other part of the body. So that's why gut health is so important.
Made in the brain. So that's interesting to know. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's really important. It's really important, not just accepting that that's the way it is, because it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You have control over your body, your health. It just takes a little bit of information and self-discipline.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to be back with Sharmane Harrison, our herbal naturopath. I have some questions in regard to that, to the hormone thing when we get back. I think that was pretty amazing how you said that they all correlate with one another. It's amazing because I always thought the serotonin or serotonin is how do you what is it, the serotonin?
Serotonin.
I thought that was something that was done in the brain, but wow, that makes sense when you think about certain illnesses that are hormone related. I would have never thought that it began in the gut. That makes so much sense. But we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back after this.
Yes, come on, shorty, let's go. Girl, I see you over there in the corner of the dance floor, and I know you're acting shy, looking at the corner of your eyes. So I pick my heart up off the floor, move my feet closer to yours, catch my breath and I say, I'm the one you're looking for.
IBG Careers is looking for customer service representatives needed to service their customers from home. If you're interested, please apply at www.ibgcareers.com.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time.
Running a successful business does not have to be hard. It just takes the right tools, mindset, and implementation of the things that you've learned in order to be able to communicate it effectively to the marketplace. Join me and so many others in the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs Wisdom Academy as I share with you through different classes that I host every week on on what things you need to know in order to make your business thrive in the marketplace. So make sure you click the link below and I'll see you on the inside.
And we are back here in the Wisdom Clinic with Wellness Tuesdays here with Sharmane Q Harrison, our herbal naturopath. And if you've missed it, the first section we're discussing losing waste in our body and why it's hindering us from losing weight. And Sharmane has been going over some of the reasons why we may have been struggling, sort of like lacking discipline and having your colon possibly being blocked. And so she was getting into some issues with helping us understand the correlation between the brain, our hormones, and our guts. So we're going to go ahead and continue with that. Sharmane, I had a question before we went on a break when you were talking about that. It was something you said before you made that statement, and you said that a lot of the symptoms that we have right now, if we get them when we first get them, if we were to take care of those or address those symptoms early on, then our bodies wouldn't be as affected the way it is when we start experiencing those other symptoms or more severe symptoms. How do you know when you have those first symptoms? How do you know when to decipher not to panic or not to address it or assume that it's something else? Because in the beginning, when our bodies are giving us signals that something is wrong, what are some steps that we can take to address some of those symptoms, especially if we don't really know what's going on as of yet because it's too early? How do we know? How do we tackle it right away before it becomes really bad?
That's a good question, because I know sometimes we get something like we have something like a chest pain or something, a little heartburn or something, and then like we go on Google and be like heartburn, and then it'll be like, oh, you're gonna have a stroke, and then it's like, oh my god. That's why I'm laughing, because it happens so much. Like I used to be that person. I used to go on Google and WebMD. Yes. So you want to take, for me, you want to take every symptom serious. Not serious to the point where you're just like, oh my gosh, you're stressing out, but you want to just assess, because this is the point in the beginning where you want to self-assess. Tell people all the time, just minor things. How much water have I drank this week or the past month? or because like I said, these things don't just happen. Your body's already affected before. So you want to self-assess, how much water have I been drinking these past, month, 6 months, a year? How much water am I drinking on a daily basis? How much vegetables am I consuming? What am I consuming? How much, you just kind of want to self-assess to make sure that you're putting the good things in your body. Well, have I been taking vitamins? What have I been doing? Have I been getting up, going to work out? What have I been consuming? You just want to take that self-assessment, because a lot of what we consume has a lot to do with what goes on in our body. So if you self-assess and you actually stop and not so much look at it like, oh my God, I got to go to the doctor and I got to get medication for this. Because 9 times out of 10, for those symptoms that you're experiencing, you're going to go to the doctor and they're going to diagnose you with something, but then they're going to say, oh, that's normal. Those symptoms are normal for what you have going on. And the reason they're so calm and you're the only one freaking out is because they know this information that I'm telling you. They know the information to be true. So, I mean, you just want to self-assess what you have going on. And if the answer is no, I haven't. Last time I drank a bottle of water was last week. Or, oh, well, I've been eating Chick-fil-A every morning for breakfast, or I've been doing this, self-assess. Okay, well, what do I need to be doing? People know that they have to consume fruit and vegetables and, get their water intake. And that's basic information. And if you haven't been doing it, you want to make sure you do that. So that's the first thing. Absolutely.
And it's important. I mean, some of this stuff is really just isn't even rocket science. If you know you're eating junk food all week long, all day long, your body is going to give you especially, if you either one, don't do it that much. And when you do it, you all of a sudden start feeling like, oh man, like I ate something and I didn't agree with me. So now I could say, oh yeah, it's probably that. But when you're just consuming, and it's when the first thing when something happens to us, we go, I don't know. It's when people say, what's wrong with you? And you go, I don't know, because you really don't know, because you don't consume so much. It's really a lack of discipline. Like you said it so well. It's really a lack of discipline. And when you have a lack of discipline in your mind is all over the place. When you have lack of discipline in your health, you're eating and consuming any and everything. I was somewhere and they were asking me, I was at a store purchasing something, and they said to me, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Why are you buying that? And I said, well, I'm like, I call myself the poster board girl for ginger, because I eat ginger I love ginger. I haven't taken ginger in like a week. I've had so much stuff going on. That's probably why I got a cold, because I usually am faithful with that ginger, girl. When I take that ginger and eat other things, I'm usually okay. But I had been going so much this week that I really kind of slacked up on caring for me. And I can tell when I start to slack up on caring for me, my body says, hey, it starts doing things to help me understand. But I think I was buying a kombucha gingerade. And they were like, oh, what is this? Oh, like, and I was like, what? And they was like, what is that? Ew. And I was just telling them it's a probiotic drink. It has ginger in it and everything. And they were like, oh no, I'll stick with my chitlins and something else. And I was like, oh, chitlins, like, ugh. You know what you're eating, like chitlins? Do you know? Like, oh my God, like I wanted to, like, my gut wanted to throw up for them. Like literally, I was just like, and it was like, you stick to your kombucha and I'll stick to my chitlins. I'm like, yeah, they definitely gonna stick to you. All right. Like, yeah, okay.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, the gut and the brain, a lot of these illnesses that the hormone imbalance, that leads to a lot of chronic illnesses. You got PCOS, endometriosis, all these things. And it's crazy because how it starts is literally from what you just said. This is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna do it. I've been doing it this long, and you get to that mindset. And then when you suffer from illness 20 years down the line, now all of a sudden you want to say, oh well, this is how it is. This is how it is, because that's the path that you chose for it to go down. But I know I was talking about the colon part. The colon in the body, like I was saying, even me being in the military, I was just consuming. I honestly say, when I was leaving the military, I was able to leave. I spoke the first reason about that social environment. So I was able to leave that social environment that sort of hindered me on my journey. And I made that decision to go ahead, and lose the weight. So for me, I did what I was supposed to do. I got the gym membership. I was working out every day. I was eating what I thought was, pretty healthy for weeks at a time. I was 160 pounds and I'm really short, because a lot of people are, oh, you only 160 pounds, but I'm short. So that doesn't look right on me. I'm very short. So I went on the scale after like 4 to 6 weeks of into my health fitness journey. And I went on the scale and I was 156 pounds. And I was so hurt because, I felt like, well, back in the day, that weight would have fallen off, and I was so confused because I was burning more calories than when I was actually in the military. So I was like, what's the problem? What's going on? I'm working out and I'm going to the sauna, like I'm burning calories nonstop. So what's actually going on? But come to find out, the average colon in the human body is around 5 feet tall, 5 feet long, and can hold up to 20 pounds of waste. Your colon. That means most of us have 20 pounds of waste that we can naturally release in a certain amount of time if we properly know the combination of natural methods to utilize in order to do so, which I do teach in my online program. So those of you that want to lose those 20 pounds in the next 30 plus days, it is very possible. It's not impossible. And yes, you can do it safely. And yes, it's effective. And yes, you can do it naturally without laxatives or starving yourself or focusing on these crash diets. I know because I did it myself. I lost 30 pounds in about 30 to 45 days. And people were completely shocked. But guess what? I felt absolutely amazing when I did it. I felt amazing. And I know a lot of times we blame an illness on the reason why we can't lose weight. I've heard that before. Well, I suffer with this, so I can't do this. Well, I suffer from that, so that's why I can't do this. But I can tell you from experience and knowledge and results from myself and through helping others that I've been able to help, that the reason that it's so hard for you to lose weight is 9 times out of 10, your colon is backed up, which causes you to have leaky gut. Which brings me to my third reason. You have leaky gut. That's my next reason. You have leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is very common. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's very common. It's basically a condition that creates a gap in the lining of the intestinal walls, and those gaps allow food particles, bacteria, the waste, and all those products to seep directly into your bloodstream. Right, so it's like thinning the lining of your intestines, and it's just like dripping throughout your body, your bloodstream. But most people, again, they have leaky gut. They just may have minor symptoms of it. But over time, that's what leads to those autoimmune conditions that the doctors can't figure out what's going on. So when the waste leaks into the bloodstream, your blood is now toxic with those bacteria. And I'm not saying, oh, because I had leaky gut, then you have it also. That's not the case. What most people don't realize is, again, the gut is known as the second brain. Whether science wants to admit this or not, because studies have been done, the root cause of many illnesses is leaky gut. And the reason is because when you have leaky gut, it causes hormone imbalances, anxiety, things like lupus, diabetes, depression, psoriasis, endometriosis, arthritis, PCOS, MS, and more. That's the reason why they're all put in a category of autoimmune condition, because there's so many various symptoms and names because of the way that particular illness may affect the body, if that makes sense. So I know these things because I've suffered with those illnesses, some of those illnesses myself. And I went through to applying the methods that I actually teach in my online course. Every last symptom gone. Every last symptom. So if I'm suffering with multiple different autoimmune conditions, but I go through the program of actually releasing the waste out of my body, the cleansing, the detoxing, and repairing, if the root cause wasn't the same, then all the illnesses wouldn't have subsided. So I've helped women who've had irregular menstrual cycles to be able to regulate them, to help with fertility. I've helped women who suffer from PCOS to be able to regulate their hormones first, because that's when you're dealing with PCOS. It's not just go lose weight. A lot of the times people are like, oh, lose weight. Yes, you want to lose weight. That's definitely important. But if you have a hormone imbalance, you want to be careful about telling somebody just to go lose weight, because it could make their hormone imbalance worse. So then, they're naturally able to lose weight in their from their body once they regulate their hormones. But when you utilize herbal medicine and holistic methods to treat illnesses early on, then your body actually sees a whole transformation, not just one piece. So the illness does not come back if you maintain the lifestyle needed to keep yourself where you want to be. You have to make it a lifestyle. Leaky gut syndrome is said to have symptoms just like I said, those symptoms that we experience every day: bloating, gas, cramps, food sensitivity, skin conditions, fatigue, body aches and pains, brain fog.
Wow.
And those are the same symptoms as parasites in your body, which actually most people do have that too. So they kind of balance off each other. So when I say do not take these light symptoms that you're going through as normal, because they will lead over time to chronic illness, I know what I'm speaking about. I've experienced it, and I've helped others to have their symptoms subside. So, but some people, they experience different symptoms of leaky gut due to how long and how much of their intestines has actually been damaged. So when people say, that's why I encourage, to book a call with me, because I want to actually assess how long they've been dealing with their symptoms. Because you may not need to work with me for a full 6 months. You may just need, the 90-day program, or you may, if you're doing preventive maintenance because you don't have illnesses, which is great, you may want to just do the 30-day program, which is fine. However, you have to understand what you have been doing hasn't been working. So you have to be open-minded to allow someone just to help you, so that you can get off that hamster wheel of saying, oh, next year I'll do this, or I'll just wait it out, or I'll just do this when I'm ready, or that's normal. The doctor said it's normal, so that's just something I have to deal with. That's just how my body is. It's not true.
I like the fact that you customize the program to fit different people's scenario. I love that you said that you take the time to evaluate, based on what the information that your intake process, I guess, during your intake process, you get to evaluate and see if this is something that needs to be done or can be turned around in 30 days, or something that needs a little bit longer, like 6 months. I think that's important, because and the only way you can really truly help them if they're honest, about their situation. Because sometimes when we are at that point where we feel like we're embarrassed and we know we made a lot of bad choices, we're not completely honest. But I think it's important to be honest about your habits so that you can get the results that you want. And I believe Sharmane can help you do that. So I know that whatever programs that you have in place, that they're going to be there to make sure that they get the desired results that they want.
Absolutely, definitely. And a lot of people, they have this mindset that believe that waiting it out is the answer. It's like, it's not the answer. You don't want to wait it out, not realizing that you're not making it any better just because you have days or moments where you feel good. I know for me, dealing with that skin condition, I was dealing with a condition that caused my skin to pigment the way it did and my hair to fall out and things like that. Seeing other people suffer from that, when I got to the point of where I'm at today, a lot of people are just like, well, I was told to wait it out. I told it would naturally go away. Time is going to deal with. So you mean to tell me that you believe that you don't have to do anything different at all with your lifestyle? Just wait it out and it'll go away. That doesn't make sense to me at all. But a lot of people wait it out when they have dealing with lichen planus, because the doctors told them that it would eventually go away. Most doctors tell them it'll go away within 2 years. Which is,
wow.
Yeah.
So when you think about, I guess when you look at it from the time frame of how many years it's been to formulate these habits, because most people don't realize, they think, and that's why people, I believe, turn to quick fixes, is because they realize, or maybe they don't realize to the fullest, that you've been eating this way and you've been creating these habits over years. And depending on how old you are, 40, 30, these are 30 and 40 years of consistent results doing things the same way. And it's going to take time to develop those habits. And I love that you have the mindset portion of it, because you're going to need that in order to transition. And I like you said it in other broadcasts, that you do it one step at a time, helping them change out, finding out what things they like to eat and giving them substitutes, replacing it. And I think the importance is being able to handle each person with care and looking at them as individuals and giving them realistic solutions and being honest and upfront with them and making them commit to a lifestyle change is important, because that's the only way you're going to get your results. It's no quick fix.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is super important because, again, when you come to me, what we're going to do is a full body cleanse to remove all the waste, well, a lot of the waste from the body, because your body's not going to be 100% waste free. We have some stuff in our body, bad bacteria that we need, of course, but we detox through nutrition, and we remineralize those organs through herbs, and we do all these things work together for the good. So you won't be able to do one without the other. Because I have people come to me and they're like, okay, what herbs do I take? That's all I need. No, that's not gonna help you to get to where you want to go. You have to do a full body, and you have to make it a lifestyle change. You have to go through those 3 different phases also. So you just want to make sure that, again, you can't do one without the other. Again, some have tried, many have failed, because it's truly like a science in the system to do so. You really have to understand your body and go through this, this awakening of self-awareness, because that's where you want to go. So those are the 3 reasons why it may be hard for you to lose weight in your body. And I also say, you're losing waste. Don't focus so much on weight. I say it all the time. Everybody wants to have this certain shape. Every decade, the shape of the woman changes. The ideal shape of the woman changes, right?
Yes.
Through the generations, right? So now we got the small waist and the big thighs and the curves and all that stuff going on this decade. And it's just to the point where they're like, oh, I want to lose this, but I don't want to lose that. Oh, I want to lose the weight, but I don't want to lose my, certain body part. So when you think of it as losing weight, you want to think of it as how you want to feel, and yes, our self-image does, have a lot to do with our self-confidence and things like that. Again, it's self-image, but that's a reason why you may not be losing the waste in your body that you want to lose. It's not because you don't know what to do as far as, workouts. Sometimes it just boils down to self-discipline and accountability. So if you are looking for an accountability, the accountability portion, book a call. If you're looking for self-discipline, the first step, again, is to book a call and to allow me to help open up your eyes as to what's going on. Because a lot of times people will come to me, and within the first 5 minutes, I instantly know what to focus on. I know what to focus on and how to help them. I give you the tools, but you have to definitely make sure that you implement them. But, through that program, I will help you to be able to release your body from the hostage of illness so that you can stop dealing and you can actually start going through a process of healing today. And if that's something that you want to do, you don't have to wait till after the holidays. You don't have to wait till the 1st of January and New Year, new me. You can start today. But if you want to do that, you can follow me on Instagram at Sharmane_Q. You can also subscribe at my website. It's www.healbynature.org, so that you're able to receive free event invites. I do access to different challenges and more, just so you can go ahead and start your journey and see how that journey, see how it looks, see how it feels. So stop waiting. Start taking action today. And if you believe in natural healing of the body, but you just don't know where to start, let me know, because I can help you get you to where you want to go before the end of the year is over.
All right, you heard it from the Herbal Naturopath herself. And not only does Sharmane just teach this isn't just something that she just shoots from the hip. She lives this lifestyle every day. And she's been faithful with it. And I'm telling you guys, if you missed her seminar, you missed her master class, you missed it. I'm just going to tell you, you really missed it. She did an amazing job at really helping us understand the type of foods that we should be eating. And even gave us some recipes. So if you guys, like she said, go to her website, healbynature.org, and book a call with her. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. She's definitely amazing. Thank you so much, Sharmane, for just always just giving us value every week on Tuesday here in the Wellness Clinic. And if you guys have any questions, you can leave it in the comments, or you can visit her at her website, healbynature.org. And we'll see you this Friday on Sisterhood Check-In. Thanks and Mommy Duty Calls. Thanks for watching, guys.
Absolutely.
Day.
Bye.
I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I wake.